Someone told me this, and I can't stop thinking about it, and it's the best way I can think to describe a Traeger. Maybe it was my wife. Oh, yeah, she said it's like an easy bake oven for dudes. A Traeger. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of right.
This video is brought to you by Echelon. All right, here's the deal. Echelon is not a new energy drink. It's been around for a while, but it's primarily only been sold on U.S. military bases. And just like the U.S. military, this shit is pretty aggressive. It's made in America, banned in Canada, and it'll make your teeth itch. I'm just gonna level with you. It's basically pre-workout in a can, and all the flavors are spicy. That's not a figure of speech. The flavors are literally spicy. It's like mango reaper, watermelon Thai chili, berry habanero. Some people don't really like that. I love it, which is probably why I bought into the company. On top of that, it is one of, if not the healthiest energy drink on the market. It only has 7 inactive ingredients, and it's all shit that you can actually spell and pronounce and you know what it is, like carbonated water, citric acid, pepper extract. It's not like all the other energy drinks with 30 inactive ingredients that are all chemical names with 37 fucking letters. And the best part, it's now no longer just available on military bases. You can go to drinkechelon.com, you can order a case of any of the flavors, or you can order a sample pack, try all 4, use code FAT, you're gonna get free shipping. Let's get back to the video.
We should do that more often.
Welcome to another episode of the Underwhelming Podcast, your favorite mid podcast. We're back again. Update. I've been in the North so long, I've now been crowned their king, the new Jon Snow of the North.
You were fucking shitting your pants because there's a frozen river in my backyard.
Yeah, that's unusual.
That's not... what do you think the rivers do here, bro?
I'd never seen one like that.
It's just
See, back home in Nashville, it's like in the paper still. It's a big day when the Cumberland froze. They put like a few Model Ts over it, and they're like, "Oh wow, the Cumberland froze. Check it out." Here, normal.
Oh, this is like back in the day.
19 like 10 or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah, and it was back when guys were like draw it up in like 20 minutes with like a printing press, like just a
see?
Yeah. Do you think everybody really talked like that?
Oh, for sure.
I also think
That's how I like to think about it.
I also think all war letters are fake. Have I told you this?
No.
Okay, so in any documentary, and you make a living off of documentaries and then making your own documentaries, every letter, it's like, "Dearest Sarah, how I long for your touch. The war, it rages on, but my love for you burns brighter." It's always a letter like that, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for now, this shit's going to come out and like, give it another couple hundred years, the raunchy war letters are coming out.
There has to be.
There's a statute of limitations before you're going to do somebody dirty. It's like, we got to wait till they're like the survivors passed and then like maybe their kids. And then we're pulling out the dirty war letters. I mean, that's what they did to fucking Napoleon.
That is
true. They gave that motherfucker a movie. The entire movie was like, all right, one of the best generals, most renowned fucking military leaders of all time. We're going to focus on his military career for the first 19 minutes, and then it's going to be 2 hours of all his weird sex stuff with his girlfriend / wife / whatever.
It should have been called Napoleon, King of the Down Bads.
I mean, for like, don't bathe. I want you to stink when I get home in 39 days after my voyage back from Egypt is fucking wild.
That's a wild thing to send.
You know what I mean?
And to think that no one would be like, crack that thing open. Obviously somebody did. Because they had, if I remember the movie right, they were like making like comics and stuff in like newspapers about him like chasing her around.
Let me ask you this. We just had a conversation about how much I trust you last night.
Yeah.
If I was the general and you were like my right-hand guy, like you were my, I don't want to say assistant.
You're attaché.
You're my guy.
You're executive
you were my
officer,
guy.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you letters to run them back home to Hannah.
Uh-huh.
And it takes you a month-long voyage. You reading those fucking letters?
I'm not reading those letters. Let me tell you why. I don't want to see that full side of you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to see it.
That's fair.
And God forbid something happens. Say I'm on the voyage when we're using wind and wood to get across the ocean. Not a great idea. You're just like, I don't know, turn it that way. Like, I'm not trusting that because it scares me. It scares me something wicked. And I don't want the last words that I read before I leave this earth to be you, trying to put the moves on on Hannah as I'm like, imagine you're bored. I probably wouldn't even be able to read. No, I'm a military officer in this scenario. I'm not doing it.
I think I got to put the moves on it. We've been together forever.
Yeah, but I don't want to read your horny war letters.
Yeah, that's true. They'd be pretty vanilla.
It's
definitely not going to be don't bathe for 39 days before I get there.
I don't know.
It's not going to be that.
Mine were vanilla writing home, but I'm starting to think of some of them. There were a few that I wouldn't like to see the light of day. For sure. They can't ever see the light of day. But what I'm saying is, like, you don't hear like a Civil War letter being like, Becky, man, I can't wait to see that ass again. Like,
they're out there.
But you never see them. That's how I feel like all the war letters are fake now, because there has to be at least one or two of them where the guy's just like...
It's not that they're fake. It's just like, we're showing you the PG ones.
I don't want that. I want the real stuff. If you're going to show me, be like, give me like a line or two. Be like, and when I get home, oh girl. Next line. Anyways, we're losing. It's bad. The North's going to win. That'd be the end of it.
The World War II ones, like, they had to be bad. I mean, they came back and it was like, they called it the baby boom when they got back.
Yeah, everyone's fucking didn't really trend well. We can't. It's the 50s. We can't really say that.
We're the greatest generation. We're going to go win World War II. We're going to come back, have so many kids, they name the entire generation the baby boomers, and then that generation is going to fuck up the entire planet.
And they're committed to it.
They're doing a good job.
They're still in power.
Nothing like, not leaving power until you're fucking 85.
What? Which is so weird. Like, even if I'm doing the stuff I'm doing now, it won't be to this scale deep into my 80s. Like, right. I can't imagine having like half the jobs that like
fucking
boomers
hand
have
off
now.
the torch, bro. Like, find something else.
Golf, hunting, anything.
Yeah, whatever.
Just the idea of like my brain having to work that long when it's just like not computing anymore. It's analog in a digital world. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna chill. But I've been down weird rabbit holes lately. I showed you the one guy who
it was unnecessary to show me that.
It's not unnecessary. I just think it's kind of a Psy-Op. So there's this guy online. Christy, turn this off. There's this guy online. His name's Will Blunderfield. I found out about him from Tom Segura's podcast.
This is not a shout out.
This is not a shout out. It's not a shout out.
This is a horror story.
I found out about him from Tom Segura's podcast, Your Mom's House. And his whole thing is talking about how gay and straight, that's all part of the matrix. And that if you really want to bond with your bros, you got to bond. That's how you increase your testosterone naturally. You bond. You bond. You understand what I'm saying? You don't James Bond, you bond. And that's how, and there's like bro science that supports this, that there's all these blah, blah, blah. And he always goes back to the Spartans being like, before battle, the Spartans used to like have sex with each other and all this stuff. And I don't believe that. Is there any real evidence that happened?
Not that I'm convinced of.
I'm not convinced of it either, because here's why. If that's what it takes to win wars, after 20 years in the global war on terror, we would have done some things, is what I'm saying.
Have you seen they just found two, I don't know if you'd call them mummies, but basically like mummified people. They were like, it might have been like fucking Pompeii or some shit. Like they were like, something happened. They both like died at the same time and their bodies were preserved. Yeah. And it's two humans that are male apparently. Mm-hmm. And they're like in each other's arms. And it's like, imagine being when a fucking volcano erupts. You have no idea what's going on. You think the world's ending. You hug your bro. And then the scientist headline is oldest gay couple ever found dating back 3,500 years. And it's like, we don't know that. Like,
we don't know that.
A dude can give another dude a hug 3,000 years ago.
We don't know that.
Or he could have been gay. I don't care. It's just funny that we made that leap based off a hug, is all I'm saying.
Did you see that clip where they're like talking about how Abraham Lincoln was the first gay president? It was a guy cosplaying Abraham Lincoln. And it's all these people, and it's doing the like movie trailer documentary thing, and it's like, what we don't know is that he was the first gay. And I'm like, I'm not saying he wasn't. Maybe he was just a guy. I don't know. And they're like, he used to sleep in beds. And I'm like, well, wasn't that because they were cold all the time? They didn't have multiple beds. They just had one bed.
The whole Like, you know,
A left and right? Like, I don't.
the dude that grew up in a log cabin.
A
Illinois.
one bedroom. It's like this, like one room, and there was one bed. It wasn't.
No furnace, fireplace.
Bro, I mean, I just we do that a lot. I'm sure you see it more than anyone. We go back on history and we kind of rework it.
Yeah, what the fuck is his name? Washington had a general that is like credited with bringing like drill and ceremony and a lot of battle tactics and shit over from like the French military.
It's the guy who the Patriots based off of.
No, that's like 5 other people, not him.
I thought that's who it was. It's not?
I don't think so.
Because that's what he does in the Patriot. He teaches them like
Yeah.
actual battle, like
Right.
traditional battle tactics.
Right. You're talking about the French guy. I thought you were talking about Mel Gibson. It might
French
be the,
guy,
It might
yeah,
be
yeah.
the French guy in the blue. I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he was gay, and I
That's
read
fine.
into it, and it's like, but like that's all anybody focuses on, and then like you read his actual like autobiographies, and it's like, it's like one paragraph. It's like, yeah, it was like kind of known in the officer clubs and circles that he liked dudes, and then it's like, cool. And then he's got like 700 pages of like all this gangster shit that he did.
Yeah.
But like all anybody cares about is the fact that he was gay. And it's like, homie's legit as fuck. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird to focus on that.
It's a
one
weird
thing.
focus. It's very recent. I remember going to the grocery store and not knowing people's sexual orientation. Those were the days. We finally entered the phase of white guy podcasting where we talk about this stuff. But it is weird, like how much you know about people's legitimate personal lives, complete strangers. But you never knew that before.
I know. That's why I bought Eli a shirt that says, "Don't bully me, I'll come."
It's true. It's true. I might need to get a shirt like that. But no, I don't think, but the guy will, he just like, his whole thing is tricking dudes into being like, if you want to increase your test, suck the nipples of your best guy friend.
You scared of needles in your butt. Fucking.
The Spartans did it. And I don't believe it. I just believe the one guy that could read who came back from the battle of Thermopylae, they were like, Spartacus, whatever his name was, tell us how they fought bravely.
How come you're the only survivor? Those guys were gay.
Dude, here's the thing. Before we went out there, we all made out so hard. Really? Yeah, man. It's just, that's our thing. That's our thing. And it was, and I mean, are you saying King Leonidas wasn't here? No, we're not saying that. He was great. So yeah, we made out really hard, hooked up, and it increased our test. That's how that science developed. The one guy who could read was probably gay, and then he lived because in Spartan culture, what could be the most anti-Spartan thing? Being able to read.
It wasn't the Spartans, but there was like another military from like that geographical area and like timeline-ish. And their whole thing was like they actually had like an elite unit that allegedly was straight gay dudes. And
Whoa, hang on,
like
what do you mean straight? Oh, you mean just
like
gay?
just like just gay dudes.
Yeah.
And like apparently they were just fucking badass. And like the ideology or like the legend or however you want to say it, but like the whole ideology behind it was like they were all gay, but also their lovers were like warriors too. So like they were sending couples into the battlefield, and the theory was like imagine how much harder you're gonna fight if your wife Christy was there. And so it's like everybody's out there like now you're fighting not just for your boys, but your spouse too.
Boys.
And it's like
your boys.
Yeah.
The boys are that makes sense to me. I believe that. You said send couples to war. That's
Right.
what I heard.
Yeah.
Right? That's fine. That's the basis of most superhero movies.
Which
that makes sense.
I'll agree. Sounds pretty dope. Like if me and you were like that,
That'd be
I'm
sick.
game because I know you can handle your shit. I do not want to go into a battlefield with my wife.
Yeah.
That's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah. I'd be like, shoot him again. But he seems dead. Seems not dead.
It just, there's a level of trust that me and you have that my wife just doesn't seem to have in me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's this whole thing where I could just like, I don't know, scream duck and you duck.
Yeah.
And we don't need to have my wife would be like, why? Now
Why?
you don't have a head. Son of a bitch.
No,
like,
get down. Like you have to react. You've got to have that. And that's a sign of a good relationship.
I need the faith of like, all right, I'm going to duck.
I mean, because the best type of relationship is like if I were to walk in here covered in blood with like a gun in my hand, I'd be like, listen, we can't talk about this right now. Here's what I need. I need trash bags.
The river's frozen right now. I'll get the drill.
Yeah, like, cool, dude. I knew I could trust you. Like, and then that's the part when we're burning the clothes outside. You go, so what happened? I'd be like, I don't know, man. Bingo night. You know what I'm saying? Bingo night. And then we move on with our lives like normal people. We don't drag it out and be like, whoa, no, I need to know what happened.
I want to get into like super artsy fartsy, like short films, you know, like send them to music, like movie festivals and shit. But it's just going to be how dramatic movies would actually go if a normal average IQ dude just did the drama.
Yeah.
Cause like, it's always like I watched, what the fuck's the name of the show? I've watched like just episodes like in passing. She'll be like watching them. I'll be on my phone dicking off or whatever. But my wife has watched Desperate Housewives like 20 fucking times.
The new real ones?
No, like the Desperate Housewives, the TV show.
Oh,
like
the TV show.
One.
Okay.
So there's like this one part where like, I don't remember all the context. The main female characters end up killing a guy that was like her abusive stepdad or somebody that assaulted her at some point previously in her past, and they like kill this guy and they hide the body. And she's just like so overcome with guilt, and it's building. And then she goes and starts taking art classes and has a relationship with the art instructor. And then she ends up painting this masterpiece painting that wins a bunch of awards. And the painting is her and her 3 friends burying a dead body in the park. Like literally just paints the fucking crime scene where the body is, and they end up like almost getting caught because of it. And it's like, what if you just didn't?
Yeah.
Like I just want to make a short film where it's.
What about just 3 friends at the park? You know, not at a graveyard.
What if you just didn't paint the crime scene? You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want a 15-minute short film where it's just like Zach shows up at my house, is like, bloody. We got to handle something. It's 15 minutes of me and you hiding a body, and then we shut the fuck up about it for the rest of forever, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
The end.
It's like the movie The Town.
It's us and the old folks home. Like, hey,
yeah,
you remember that one time?
Yeah, that shit was crazy, dude. I can't believe. I'm so sorry. I was put you in a tight spot, but you know, you got me back 10 years later.
I told you they'd never check in an irrigation ditch of a cornfield. Like,
it's literally The Town. That's like the best movie scene ever. When Ben Affleck walks in, he goes, "I need your help. You can never ask me about it. You can't ask me about it. We can never talk about it again. We're gonna hurt some people. Whose car we taking?" And then he just gets in the back, like he's just, and that's really not even the best. They cut it in the thing, but it's them just driving over there, and he's just sitting there, like
not asking questions,
just like, yeah, fuck it. I guess we're doing it. Yeah, he's just like, okay, cool. And then he gets out of the car with like their ass batons and go in there and do what they got to do.
Honestly, the less I know, the better. Probably
plausible deniability. It's just such a guy code is so different than girl code.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I understand it.
Girl code has like levels and like stuff I don't understand. I'm fascinated with like, so I've noticed that girls will have friends, but they'll be on like a tiered system. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did for the longest time. I didn't know this was a thing. But like, we're friends. We were not friends, but now we are friends. That's it.
Well, and then it's like,
it's not tiered of friendship. It's not like Nick only gets invited to these things. It's like Nick's in, Zach's it. Like,
well, the other thing is like with dudes, it's like the mafia. Like once you become a made man,
yeah,
like you have that status forever unless you like really fuck up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Once you're one of the boys, we could not talk for 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And I could call you on a fucking Tuesday at 10:30 at night, and we're going to talk for 3 hours, and then I'm not going to talk to you for 3 more years, but you're still one of the fucking guys. Whereas
it's perfect.
Like, I don't know, at least in my experience, it's like, well, we used to be really close, and then she never texted me. Did you text her?
Yeah.
Well, no, but she should have texted me. Like, do you think maybe she feels the same exact way about you? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't care. That's not my problem. And it's like, that's a really weird way to end a friendship. All right, whatever.
Okay. I'm just trying to help. You're not helping.
Good.
You're right.
This is what the internet needed, though. Just 2 more fucking sweaty white dudes with
being honest,
$99 microphones discussing heterosexuality and bashing on how women do things as opposed to men and having shitty movie references about hiding bodies. Just the internet's never seen this before. This is gonna be a huge hit.
Riveting. Riveting. It's underwhelming to say the least. Bah. No, because I've just thought about it recently because the girls are getting older and they all have their friends, but they have them, and their friends are kind of always around. They have like their best friends they see the most often and stuff. But like the tiered friendship thing is something that's unique to girls, and I just don't get it. Like in or out. That's just my whole thing. In or out. I don't know. Maybe they're smarter than us. I mean, they definitely are.
I had to explain to Hannah and a couple of her friends the other day. They're my friends too, but it's like couples that you're friends with, and me and the other guy were explaining to our wives that being called a nice guy by another man is not a fucking compliment. It's borderline the worst thing on the planet.
Worst thing I could think of, guy.
Like I would rather be a dickhead or an asshole than he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Like why? Why is that a nice guy is like to a guy when another dude's like, he's a nice guy, is literally like he poses zero threat. He's not interesting. I don't really like him. I don't want to hang out with him.
Yeah.
But he's not a supervillain. That's all that means.
It's like being called vanilla.
It's being called an NPC.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's good. That has to be the worst. You want to hear like it's like the Call of Duty thing where he's like, he has no rules, he has no morals.
Anything.
like
anything else.
He's wanted in 4 countries for war crimes against humanity. Like that's what you want to hear. Like that's my boy, dude. Like that guy rocks, man. Yeah, he's kind of sucks sometimes, but he's pretty cool. Like you want that. You don't want like casual stuff.
Yeah.
I actually so when I went to New York, a friend of mine I've known since I enlisted, right? And his career. Do you know what a gunner in the Marine Corps is? Do you know what that is?
Like a machine gunner?
No, a gunner. Like, so he is one of, there's 100, usually I think there's less than that now, but there's 100 of them in the Marine Corps. They are the highest, they're a chief warrant officer, they're a warrant officer class, and they are the subject matter expert for weapon systems to whatever, like, infantry unit they're assigned to. Well, he is a gunner is what it's called. And like he's one of like 100, and his career's been all over the place. He's been West Coast, now he's up in New York, and it's just like literally it was like the first time I saw him. Just picked it up. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And like we just started talking about like new weapon systems the Marine Corps is using, things they're trying to do, and like how I was like, "What do they have?" I trained on iron sights in boot camp, and he's like, you're showing your age there, bud. They don't even use ACOGs in boot camp anymore. And I was like, now we got LPVOs and suppressors. And I was like on the line to re-enlist. I could feel it. I was like, come on, take
I hate LPVOs.
Well,
I tried
I got the
so hard
Trigicon
to
ones
like them.
that are pretty good.
I tried so hard to like them. It's just like, I don't know, man. If I was like shooting at somebody and they were a little bit further away than
just aim up
5x,
Yeah.
I'd probably just aim up and shoot 3 more fucking times. I'm not over here trying to adjust fucking reticles and
Yeah.
shit.
Well, these are
I know, but still, like, I mean,
no, I understand. Yeah,
like, I got 249 more rounds. I could probably hit him.
Not wrong. I just like that they're like actually doing stuff.
So
finally.
somebody was asking me about Cody, and they're like, how good of friends are you with the unsub guys, really? Because like, I mean, I know you hang out with them a lot, but it's like, it's always you fly down there. Like, how much you've only really got to see them? What, 60 days maybe over the course of 3 years, maybe that I've hung out with them.
60 to 90,
and it's just like, I like focused in. I was like focused in on Cody in particular, and I was like, look, if I went on vacation in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, the cartel abducted me and were holding me hostage.
Yeah.
I have like 99.9% confidence that Cody would try to hire Blackwater dudes and come rescue me.
Yeah.
Like 100% Cody would.
Yeah.
Easily.
I know a guy who does that.
Like Cody would do it.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
It's a weird thing to say. You're business partners in like several businesses. You're co-owners of a podcast.
Right.
It's like, how would you know him? It's kind of interesting.
How well do I know him? Not very much, but also literally all I need to.
Yeah. Well, it's also in these things when we're together, like it's a day, but I was telling someone this, like when I'm doing these things, we're together from sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
We literally only, sometimes we're all in the same bathroom if it's an airport. Other than that, that's about it. Even when we break after like going to bed, we still meet in one hotel room. Like it's 23 of the 24 hours a day we're together.
Yeah.
It's probably the best part, hanging with the bros.
Awesome.
Hanging with the bros is the best part.
It's awesome. I remember, I think like one of the funnest moments I've had doing all the unsub and stuff with you guys. You weren't there for this one, but I was out in Texas. We were filming podcasts, and Brandon had a video about Jody Plachey.
Yes.
And we recreated the one-arm shot underneath the thing on a ballistics gel dummy, and it was on all of us except for you, the host, and then King Trout, and his camera guy Delance, and we're all out there, and we're there for like 30 minutes. We get like the first half of the video done, and it just starts fucking piss dumping rain. I mean, just solid fucking downpour. Not like I got wet. Like I was soaked down to my underwear and socks in 3 minutes, and there was nowhere to hide. And we're all just like, we threw the cameras in the trucks, and we all just stood in the rain and bullshitted and laughed. And it was like, I felt like I was back in the Army again, of where it was like, man, this sucks, but I'm going to remember it forever. And this is one of the best times.
That is true.
It was like, that's what it feels like.
That is what it feels like. That is exactly what it feels like.
Our flight gets delayed. We're stuck at the airport for 4 hours sitting at a fucking airport bar. And it's like, this fucking sucks. Also, I'm going to remember it forever. And I'm having fun.
I will remember being in the Buffalo Hotel as long as I live.
Oh, till 4 a.m, just bullshitting in the lobby.
When they put me in the ground, when they like, and it was such, you can't even really explain it because it's just a good hang. Just a good hang. We also had a good hang when we did Tiny Guns 3. We were underneath that thing. Remember that? We all rapped. Yeah. That was also a good hang.
Tiny Guns 3 was a good one.
That was a good hang, just waiting there.
It was like a damn movie set.
That was crazy. It's funny, too, because Christy always, at the time, she was like, why didn't you get, like, more, like, on-set photos? She's like, there's everyone else has a lot of on-set photos. It's like a funny thing. I was dressed like a Nazi the whole time. So, it doesn't play. It's really rough in context. Out of context, it's worse. Because she was like, show me like, I remember she showed me like the photo of like you and Brandon. I was like, yeah, they look like total babes. Me and Cody are dressed like Nazis. like we can't take photos all the time dressed like Nazis. She's like, oh, okay. So did you die? And I was like, yeah, I died. That's like what happened. She goes, oh, okay. But her notes were like, not enough photos? Question mark? And I'm like, babe, come on. I did the best I could.
It's one thing Hannah's good at. I would have like 4 pictures of myself and my kids if it wasn't for Hannah.
Dude, I recently had to upgrade our like Apple plan because she has so many photos. She moved them like off of her phone onto like shared albums, and she has 2 terabytes. Not 2 terabytes. She has
pictures.
1 terabyte of pictures.
Hundreds of thousands of pictures.
It's perfect. The problem, and you'll get this as the kids get older too. I mean, you have the baby photos and stuff now, but the problem I have now is like I'll open up my phone and it does like that featured photo thing, and I'll see them when they were like,
oh, my shit does that too, and it's like, oh, now I'm just trying to order some DoorDash, and now I'm about to cry.
Messed up, dude.
Oh, it's horrible.
I've got one. It came up on Christmas, and it was them, and we got them American Girl dolls. They were over the moon about it. I had to sell all the books I had. I sold all the books I had, and I ended up getting a good deal that year. And because I got a good deal on my books for college.
Oh, okay.
And because I was buying like used, and I didn't get a good sell, but someone's like, buy the newest top-rated one. That way you'll get some money back. And so I did that one year, and I had enough to get them like American Girl dolls, and it was like a surprise. And Santa got it for them, and they're ear to ear. And then the photo of them in front of our tree this year, and I was just like,
not gonna cry.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. Please, just stay that way forever, please. It's fun though.
Oh God, I was like, so like same thing. But you ever have like a short from like a movie where they're just like, it'd be really funny if I took the most emotionally charged, traumatizing 60 seconds out of an entire movie series and just threw it in a shorts reel to ambush people with emotions as they're scrolling through TikTok. It was, did you ever watch Modern Family with Al Bundy and
yes. Oh,
the one where he talks about how on Family Christmas, where he's like talking about how, when you first have a kid, it's amazing and you love your little tiny baby, and one day that kid disappears, but it's replaced by this amazing toddler, so you never really notice. And then that toddler gets replaced by an amazing 7-year-old, and then that kid becomes this amazing little adolescent, and that kid becomes an amazing teenager, and then they turn 18 years old, and then suddenly all those kids walk out of your life all at the same time, and it's like, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm gonna cry.
I can feel my eyes starting to water.
I'm just trying to wait for my flight in the lobby, and I don't want to be the dude in the tank top and all the tattoos crying in the corner, scaring everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't look great to cry. No one knows it's because you're a good father. They think it's because you're doing things you don't want to do. I don't have the strength to do it. I know what I have
I'm
to
over
do.
here having a moment to myself with my AirPods, and it's like, oh shit, now everybody's going to get really upset if I walk more than 3 feet away from my luggage.
Yeah. Dude, and like sometimes those movies will hit me, the memory movies. Have you seen those? It'll just be like set to a sound and it's just a bunch of photos. And like ding, 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 ding. And it's like happy, or it's just like remembering. I'm like, please stop. It's so hard watching them grow up, but the coolest part is watching them become people. That's what you get to look forward to. Cause like when they start like shaping their identities and deciding who they want to be, it's actually pretty cool to like watch them be like, yeah. Cause I always said like when the girls became 10, they were people, they just couldn't vote. They just couldn't do everything else. They were just like, they understood things. They were really like smart. And they're like, yeah, I get it. Whatever. Let's watch SpongeBob. But, at the same time, it sucks because they're getting older and you're like, please just stay.
Right.
I need to find that spring from Tuck Everlasting, keep my family at the age they are now.
Scariest thing on the fucking planet.
It's so tough, especially when, I've got one that's driving now. I mean, she doesn't stand a chance. I know every cop in the city, town, everything. I've got multiple tracking things on her keys, her car, her cell phone. Like, she's not getting away with anything.
God, I was explaining this to Brandon because I was explaining to Brandon how horrifying it is to have kids. And he's like, why? I was like, you know how you like, because me and Brandon are a lot alike, like personality wise. And I was like, you know how you've had like this really, really good internal locus of control and like very few people can get under your skin and actually upset you and annoy you. And he's like, yeah. And I go, cool. Now somebody's going to hand you a kid and it's like a fucking Horcrux from Harry Potter. Like it's like, hell, here's a chunk of your soul that's just going to wander around the planet. And if anything happens to it, you're going to die inside. It's horrifying.
They have all the power over you.
Yeah.
And then you never think about hitting a kid until someone hits your kid, and then you're like,
dead.
Get away from my child.
There's nothing better than watching video. There was a video I just saw like this morning, just a short from like shitty convenience store cameras, and like this little kid walks in and he's crying, and this fucking not elderly, like in his 50s, grown-ass man walks up, and like you see him yell at the kid and then kick towards him, and fucking dad from out of the camera frame with a haymaker and just fucking obliterates this dude. Just like out cold.
Starched.
On the fucking floor at a 7-Eleven. And it's like, everybody that watches that video is like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I've had dreams like that. Like someone, hey, I'm sorry, what'd you say? They're the only thing that really, you're right. Nothing really bothers me. They're the only thing where if I'm like, hey, I've got 3 buttons. Daughter 1, daughter 2, Christy, that's it. You press any of those buttons, we're going to have real problems. Everything else, my friends, they can handle themselves. You get too close to the triangle, we're gonna have problems. Like I'm okay. I've made peace with like going to jail for certain things. Like we'll put the Jake the lawyer on, whatever we got to do. Like those are all things that I'm at peace with. Me, I could care less. But like, hey man, she was born 2 days later. I went to Afghanistan. Do you think you scare me?
God, 2 days.
Mm-hmm. That was my first one. My first daughter.
How's that for an emotional roller coaster? Holy shit.
Dude, it was so
the worst.
It gets worse.
No.
My daughter, my eldest daughter. Have we said kids' names? I don't know if I can.
I've said mine. That's up to you.
I'll say it. It's fine. Alyssa, my oldest daughter, Alyssa. We had prior to leaving, they're like, you're going on a MU. You're not going to Afghanistan. You're going to the Mediterranean. And if you're in the infantry, especially at that time, they couldn't have said any worse thing to you. Because at that time in the Marine Corps and everywhere else, if you didn't deploy to a combat zone, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wanted to go at that point.
You wanted to go, and like legitimately, careers are made off of wars.
Yeah.
And in the Marine Corps, you're a boot. You're fresh out of boot camp. You haven't been deployed. You're doing working parties. You're bottom of the barrel forever. It's like, I don't want this to happen. So in the back of your mind, you're always like, I hope I go. I hope I go. I hope I go. Well, you know, we found out, you know, Christy was pregnant and everything, and the whole workup. My battalion commander was really kind. I had to like talk to him all the time about it. He would like ask me stuff. Are you getting to her appointments and different things like that? Like everyone like knew about me and my child, which is
That's actually awesome.
It's very awesome and it's very rare.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
especially
a battalion commander giving a fuck about an E3.
No, an E1 at that time.
E1. That's wild.
E1
but awesome.
to E2. Yeah. He was kind of. I still talk to him. He like we have like when like every time I see him, he'd be like, "How's your daughter?" And I was just like, "That's wild." That he. I mean, he's in charge of 1,200 people. At least 1,200 battalion landing team was 1,200 people. Yeah.
You're in charge of one.
I was in charge of one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so at the late February, I mean like early February, they're like, hey, we're not going to the Mediterranean. We're going to Afghanistan. Pack your bags and everything else. So we come home.
Were you happy about that?
I was happy that we were going to war. That was going to happen. That everything we had trained for wasn't going to be wasted. And that I didn't like do a workup to just be on a ship for 7 months in the Mediterranean. Like for everyone on the ship who has a job, that's their job.
Right.
When you're
That's
a
what you
Marine
signed
on
up
a ship,
for.
you have nothing to do other than
your cargo.
You piss people off. They hate you. Like I did 30 days on the ship. They're like gangway or sick bay. They'll elbow you. I walked into a chief's nest one time. They were like crazy mad. And I literally was like, hey, chill. And I just like turned around and left because it's making chief in the Navy is a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah.
And
That's E7?
E7, yeah. It's the mark of like you've made it in the Navy.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I know you do. But like it was just like whatever. But I felt guilty, obviously. But we come
So
home.
like you're partially excited / happy, but then also
It was
your wife,
everything.
I'm assuming, is not thrilled.
She's not thrilled, and you know, her due date was sometime in after February, and you know, we come home and I'm actually out with my family getting like donuts at Krispy Kreme or something because she wanted some, and that was back in the day when you actually could go in and get a hot and ready, and they would come off the line. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I get a call like, hey, her water's breaking, everything else. And so we go to the hospital. I call my chain of command and they're like, you're supposed to be here tomorrow. I was like, I'm not going to be there tomorrow. I'm sorry. But like, I'm staying here for this. Like I'll deal with that later.
Right.
And my platoon sergeant was like, good to go. A guy who used to, had a real hands-on approach to leadership was actually very kind to me in that one time. And I ended up leaving with a different company, which is fine. There's 3 weeks of acclimatization prior to pushing out a mission. But so she was born, and 2 days later, I was back towards North Carolina and like on my way. But it was the only time where I was like, I've made an incredibly selfish decision. Like, what if I don't make it? What if something happens to me? What if something happens to what? Not even if something happens to me. What if something happens to them while I'm gone?
Right.
And there's a photo of her like on my stomach, and she's like this big. She's just been born, and I was just like, ugh. And it was the only time I ever got like upgraded to first class because I had to travel and stuff, and like I had my military haircut. We're at Nashville, and like I'm waving bye to her, and I'm holding her, and I'm kissing her. Everyone's crying, and they like literally like pushed me right through everything and upgraded my seats. I was like, oh, it's kind of nice, but that was hard. And then on top of all that, one time we get to the base, we're doing like all this stuff there. I called her once, and the air raid siren went off. That didn't help.
Nope.
That didn't help. I mean, we were safe. It was fine, but and then mission launched, and I didn't call home for 90 days.
Jesus.
We were out there on satellite phones, the Iridium satellite phones, like for 90 days. And so we would do different things. Like the chaplain at that time had a program where I would sit down in front of a camera, like just like this, and I would read a book. And it was when I was writing those letters and like reading the books to send to my family, I'm like, is this all I'm gonna leave them if something happens? So when I came back after that, and they're like, hey, you're going to Iraq for 30 days, maybe 60, maybe 90. You're gonna shut down green zones and patrol bases. That's what your mission is. I was like, yes, this is awesome. And so we started for our second child, Audrey, and then President Obama went to West Point in 2009, announced a troop surge, and so I left, and it was a month into my second tour when Audrey was born, and that was when I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
That was literally the nail in the coffin of my career. Like, I was like, I'm not going to do this for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, when my mother-in-law held her up Christy, I remember Christy was sitting with Alyssa on her lap, and she holds up Audrey. My mother-in-law holds up Audrey like on a Skype camera, and I'm looking there, and I was just like, I remember my eyes getting red, and I was just like, this might be the only time I see all of them. This sucks. I can't believe I did this. And yeah.
What's the Game of Thrones quote? Love's the death of duty.
Yeah.
Those are the dudes that probably scare me the most out of any archetype of dude I've ever met is the dudes that are like, I have 4 kids and 25 years in the infantry. And it's like, you're on another level. And if you've been with the same woman the entire time, that woman is on another level of like commitment to this that kind of fucking scares me.
It's such a shitty deal when you think about it. Like, when you pitch it like, hey, we're going to get married. I'm not going to get paid a lot of money. I'll be gone all the time. You also might be a widow at any given moment.
Yeah.
With children, and every few years, at least every 4 years, we're going to move. How's that sound? Like, it sounds horrible. Cool. I have cool uniforms. I get discounts at weird places. Am I selling you on this?
Applebee's. Like,
is that your best pitch? That is the only pitch. That is the pitch I have. And we're
going to get a good deal on our first home loan.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there are some cool things. When I think about it, though, I do wonder, like, the different timelines. I always think about alternate realities. Like, if I think if I'd done another enlistment, if we hadn't had children then, and we had waited till my second.
So, like, when that time came around for your next reenlistment, was that even like a conversation that you and her had, or were you just like, I'm done to her?
So, I had a really good squad leader. His name's Ryan Madden, and halfway through the workup for Marja, he set me down because he's like, hey, you're going to be acting squad leader moving forward for like 3 months, however long it is. I want you to know that I think you can do this, and don't fuck this up. It's a lot of responsibility. Everyone else was a sergeant, or it was at least a sergeant. They've been in for like at least 6 years.
And you're in charge of them now?
No, I have the same job as them. I'm in charge of 12 dudes.
You corporal?
I'm a lance corporal.
Okay.
You couldn't tell me a motherfucking thing then, dude. I was shit hot. And I was because of him, because he said this to me. He goes, Zach, I want you to know something. You came to me as a boot. You've really done really well. You're my first team leader, my second in command, blah, 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 blah. He's like, what you need to do is you need to start treating this like a career. And I was like, what? What do you mean? He goes, not everybody gets asked to stay. A lot of people have to ask to stay. And when that time comes, you need to have all the power and ability. So when you sit down with retention, they're asking you to stay, not the other way around. Treat this like a job. I was like, okay. Jump cut. We're in Marja. I just came back from a horrible patrol, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get too much of the details in it, but, someone had got injured that I had known that same time too, and he's fine. He went on to become a Paralympic athlete, winning a gold medal. Luke McDermott, shout out to you, Lukey. I love you. But I'm sitting in the tent, and my first sergeant comes in there, and he's just South Carolina dude. He goes, doggone Bill, you got to talk to doggone Dean. And he's like, you ain't got to do nothing. Just talk to him. It's my job to make sure you talk to him. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, good to go for first sergeant. I was tapped. It was like towards the end of it, dude. It was starting to weigh on.
That was retention that you had to go talk to?
I was at the COC.
In theater.
In theater. I'm at the COC.
What a worse time to pitch it.
Dude. And he was. And I'm at the COC, and like I'm tapped. Like literally every day, we're just trying to survive. It was not contact patrols; it was combat patrols. Ryan had actually been injured, had been hit in the head with a ricochet, so he's gone. He would come back a week or two later, but he was gone. We had lost people. They had reorganized everything. Every day is getting more dangerous than the previous day. And I'm just like sitting there with my sleeves rolled like way too high. I haven't had a haircut and a shave. And I'm like, the last thing I need is for him to yell at me. And he didn't. And he gave me, I was sitting there and I was just smoking. And he's like, just talk to him. And he sat down, I talked to him and he's like, hey, heard you just got promoted meritoriously. Congratulations. Because I'd picked that up. And he's like, good for you. We have a few options for you. Want to know what you look at? We're going to offer you a contract, and it's going to be an Op 4 contract, and you got to deploy within 18 months, and you'll get $30,000, and it'll be tax-free if you do it overseas. And I'm like, yeah, it'll be tax-free, but if I do it back home, I'll get the money back in taxes. I don't make enough. It's fine, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, we think you do that, and, do you want to go to, like, OCS? You got to do a B-billet in the Marine Corps. I think you have to do it in all of them, but in order to pick up staff, you have to do a B-billet. So that's either recruiting, SOI or drill instructor. Yeah. So you got to be an instructor. One of those things you have to do. And I was like, I don't want to be a drill instructor. They're all sick for like the rest of their lives by being around recruits. Recruiting's a nightmare. And I was like, I'll be like an instructor somewhere. And I was like, okay, good to go. And he's like, well, let me know. Your package, it's ready for you. He had built it. He's like, this is you. You can do it. And like I had talked to Christy, and Mason came back in there, and we sat down, and I'm just smoking a cigarette, and he goes, you don't have to do this, right? And I was like, And he's like, man, I used to hate the fuck out of you, Bill. And I was like, why is that? He goes, every time you show up to formation with your long-ass hair, boy, I wanted to pull it off your head. And he would pull me in formation, be like, Marines, come here. And he's like, when you get a haircut, Bill, get over here. And like, I would always have like a low fade. And then I look like doggone Bell. What the hell is this shit? Like, and he'd pull because I would like wear a cover and I would slick my hair back and you couldn't tell until I took my hat off. But he's sitting there and he just looks at me, and at one point he said something to the effect of, you've given this everything you can. You don't need to do this anymore. And I was like, I can still do it. And he goes, oh, I know you can do it. It just might cost you more than you think. And like, that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Just because his job at that point is to get people to retain.
Right.
As a first sergeant, But the fact that he was like, no. Because he had done a tour before in like a different unit, but he had never been like with a line unit. Because what they do with first sergeants, and when they're on like the path to sergeant major, is they move them to like an opposite MOS usually. It's like infantry guys they put with the wing, vice versa. So he was in the wing doing something with aviation. So he came over to us, a bunch of grunts, a bunch of animals who, all the wing guys are always fit and in shape because they can work out 7 days a week. Look at a bunch of grunts, dude. They're all over the place. Right. But he was like, he's like, you just don't know how much it'll cost you. And I was just like, yeah, I don't think I can. I saw the timeline of me like 20 years down the line. I don't think my wife would have ever left me. I think we would have been successful in our marriage and everything else. But like, I'm not able to do half of the things. I'm not even half.
You're not going to Disney World 3 times a year to watch your daughters do cheer competitions.
Yeah, or there to help them with school, or to talk to them, teach them how to drive, or any of those things. Because I was in that lane. If you want to get promoted, you want to be in infantry, you got to stay here. And I wasn't going to do anything else. If anything, I was looking at moving into other combat stuff. But like, there's no way to escape that. You got to stay on the path. You got to deploy. You got to do this. And it was really like not even on the table, to be honest, at that point, because I didn't want to do that anymore.
Chrissy happy when you said you're out?
She for a while, I think she was scared that I would resent her. I'm convinced she was like scared that I would resent her. I mean, there was a real moment when we moved back. I'm living with my mother-in-law. She had rearranged her whole house. We're all me and her and my other child are in one room. My other child's in a room by herself. My mother-in-law is like living in her living room just to create space for us, because I didn't have any credit because I didn't have any debt. So I couldn't get a house. And so I had to work construction during the day. I would go to construction, go to school. I did that for a few months until I got a job as a medical receptionist in a hospital. It was the only job I could get, where I would go to school from like 8 to 12. I would then, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes labs, but 8 to 12. I would then sleep in my car from like 12 to 4. And then I would drive to downtown Nashville and work 7 to 7. And then my day was done. And I did that for 3 years. And then one day, there was a piece of cardboard and a Sharpie.
No,
then I got accepted into college, and then everything else happened. But it was just to a different college. But like, there was a moment when we were living with my mother-in-law where I'm looking back, like I had a brand new house on base. I had a career. I was an E4. I picked up E5 like 2 months into the IRR. So I was a sergeant in 4 years and change. 5 out of 9 in 4 years ain't bad. Like, I was like, did I mess up? Like, I was like, did I flush all of that down the toilet? Like, what did I do? And so that was like my thought on it, was that I had severely fumbled and like really put my whole family's future at risk. But it was just a path I was supposed to be on at the time.
Worked out.
It worked out, but it's like anything else. Like, it's like you were on the path you were on, and then like, necessity is the mother of invention, right?
That's true.
Like, you're an electrician, you're doing all these things, then you get hurt. What do you do then? You have
fucking working DoorDash, homie.
People don't know that though.
No.
But that's what that's like when people talk about being a dad and a husband and a father, that's what it is. It's doing DoorDash while you're also injured from your other job.
A fucking sling. Yeah, that was a good time.
That's why I'm so happy to see everything that's happening for me now.
That fucking sucked.
Yeah. Those are moments where you're like,
yeah. Might have fucked up.
That's how I felt. Like, I remember like looking up in my mother-in-law's house in that room being like, this might not have been the move. This might not have been it. At least the other job, I had cool clothes. This isn't cool at all.
No, I'm just the young guy that's awkwardly old for his age with all the tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dude. In 2011, people still barely understood the GI Bill. It had just changed. I do look younger than I am. That didn't help being in class. Like, I walked into this one class, English class, and there was a guy, who was trying to do like a Robin Williams thing, right? And he had like a scarf, and he goes, "My name is Steven so-and-so. I will be your English professor." And he's like doing his like speech. He's like, "In this class, we will learn." And he's like running over stuff. And I was just like, wow, this guy's like really animated. And he's like, and he's like wraps up, and he's like, "Here you will learn the written word. You understand the written word. You'll but like," and I was just like, wow, this is what college is like. This is crazy, And I was like wearing like Hot Topic shirts and jeans, stuff I'd had before I enlisted because my style hadn't updated.
Just you, skater punk, wearing Hot Topic shit back when Hot Topic was cool, sitting in a class full of kids. Like nobody knows I've seen two men fuck a donkey. No. Like none of these guys have a clue.
Nobody knows. And he said something, and it stuck with me. And he goes, and for everyone, don't even pretend you don't know about this. Every paper will be written in MLA format. That is class for today. If you have any questions, come to me, office hour, blah, blah, blah. I'm a confident young man, and I was like, I got questions. I walked right up to him, and I go, "Hey, sir, my name's Zachary Bell. I just have some questions about the class." And I remember he flicked around his scarf, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't like that." And he looked at me and goes, "What are your questions?" And I go, "Sir, you mentioned MLA format. If you could just explain that to me, I have no idea what that means." He goes, "You don't know what MLA format is? You were just in high school 6 months ago. How did you forget so easily?" I go, "Actually, sir, 6 months ago I was in Afghanistan on my second tour, and I'd really appreciate if you weren't so condescending to me in front of everyone. And if you talk to me like that again, we're going to have some real fucking problems." And he looks at me and he goes, "Thank you for your service." So MLA format is and I was just like, "Hey, good to go." And I shook his hand, and I was like, "I'll fucking kill you." I was so mad. I was so in the moment. I was just like, yeah. And then I had to go talk to my counselor after that. I had to go talk to the veteran counselor, but it was all right.
willingly or you were told to?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. I kind of got ahead of it because there was also a crowd of students around him trying to ask him questions, and I didn't appreciate that he, in a position of authority, was trying to dress me down, as very awkward as I was. And I hadn't had a haircut in a while. I was just like doing my thing.
How old were you at this point?
23.
And you just gotten out?
Like 5 seconds ago. Like I got out. So my EAS day.
You're still going through like the rough adapting phase of like.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get out, like it's pretty rough because it's like, all right, I just came from an environment where everybody wears their rank on their chest, and I know how much I'm supposed to respect somebody literally at a glance in passing. And now it's just everybody just fucking colliding into each other, being assholes the entire time.
And not to mention, I had some fucking juice too. Like I was an acting squad leader. I picked up squad leader on deployment. I was meritoriously promoted. Like by that point, I was like, nah.
You were hot shit.
Brother. I could not be fucked with. And so I knew that obviously some of that stuff would go away, but so I had saved up enough leave, so I had terminal leave. So my ES was like February 2011, but I started school in January. So I was still on terminal leave when it happened. So I still smelled like PTSD. Like I was very much so riddled with traumatic
I can't get
memories.
the image of a grown-ass man trying to punk you while wearing a scarf and using it as like like
it was
like that was him sheathing the sword before threatening your life.
Yeah. He has no idea how close he was to death. Like honestly, because people don't know this in the military. Like a popular thing we would do if you had problems, no matter what your rank is, but hey, you want to drop blouses? You want to pop tops? You want to drop blouses?
Line?
Yeah, we'll take care of this. And that energy was still right there. Like, hey, are we gonna have a problem, sir? Like, so I had to go talk to the veteran guy afterwards. That's not even the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing I think about is all right. So when I get in the sun, my hair gets like Eminem blonde, like Slim Shady blonde, light blonde, right? So whenever I would come home, I would have really, really blonde hair, all right? And so after Marja, we had wanted to take the girls to Disney forever. And so
was this the first time?
This is the first time of
very
first time. And so Christy planned this trip and all this stuff, and I was just super excited. And to be honest, I really wanted some normalcy. Looking back on it, I should not have gone straight from the largest helo-borne assault since Vietnam to Disney World like 20 days later. Jesus. There's like photos of me with like really blonde hair.
That's where everybody goes after the Super Bowl, right? That makes sense.
I mean, but my hair's so blonde. I'm like, I might have been a little too much then. Like, because like prior to that, I was like, we're the Taliban. And then jump cut, I'm like, oh, we love Mulan. She dressed up like you. Like, it's just like in a polo, like doing dad stuff. Like, oh, look, there's Tinkerbell. But a little bit before that, I was like, are the bombs over there? Like, it's crazy. I mean, I did well, but like it could have been like a recipe for disaster. Just me like humming as people were everywhere, like all over me, and I'm like, it's fine, I'm okay, I'm not in trouble. Where's my gun? Yeah, it's crazy. I'm okay now. It took me forever. I'll say this. I hate I'm talking so much. It just happened. But the biggest problem I had during my transition is I punted so much of my stuff. So what I mean is like I would have like not incidents, but I would have moments where like I was just like aware that I wasn't my best self. But I had so much going on with working full time, going to school full time, and everything else that I had this goal of graduating college, and that was the thing I wanted to do. That was the thing that I wanted to do so badly. No one in my family had ever done it. I can do this, blah, blah, blah. And then I get my bachelor's, and then this guy in one of my business classes is like, you should apply for business school. I was like, okay. And so I did. And then I got in, and then I graduated. So from 2011 to 2016, I had like one singular purpose. I was like General Zod. I had a purpose. My purpose is the people of Krypton. My purpose was college. If I don't have the college, I have no purpose. And then when that happened, when I ran out of purpose, that was when I was like, oh no.
Now what do I do?
Now what do I do?
Yeah.
I guess maybe I should look into the fact that sometimes I can't sleep good. Like, but because I had just been like, it's okay. We'll take care of this later. We'll take care of this later.
It's weird because like that's part of the reason that I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, because it was like did National Guard thing, did the college thing, dropped out of nursing school, hated it. And like I dropped out of nursing school on Monday.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, I showed up to my first day being an apprentice.
Yes.
Like I went straight into the apprenticeship program to get my journeyman's. And it was like, that was, it got changed now to 4 years. But when I did it, it was a 5-year program. So like you're going to school, doing a bunch of homework and studying and bullshit. And then you're working, 40 to 60 hours a week, being basically the bitch. And then you get stepped up, as you learn more shit and get put in charge of more stuff. So it was like that for 5 years straight. And then like, I just remember I finished the program, got my license, got a big raise, kind of pumped. I was like excited to see my first paycheck, and I get my first paycheck and like it was everything I thought it would be. But then it was like,
I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's it now. Like now there's
Yeah.
there's nothing to look forward to. There's literally just next goal. Do this till I'm 68. Do
this, then retire?
Yeah.
That'd be,
It's like,
it's hard. Like that realization.
that was rough.
I think one of the things that's bonded so many of us is that purpose. Like I need a mission. You need a mission. I need a mission. I need a task. Otherwise I'm dangerous. Like not
to myself,
mostly. To myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not good. That's so funny. You did the exact same thing. That's crazy.
Oh, dude, it was like horrifying moment of like, is this it?
Is this the
This
thing?
is like I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna get to see my kids grow up, and I have a good job. I'm working first shift all the time, and that's gonna be great. But also like, it's just punching a clock for 8 to 12 hours a day, and that's it.
Yay!
And I was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Is that when those ideas started to develop of doing the other businesses?
Yeah, I mean, that was part of it for sure. I started doing a bunch of other businesses like out of my basement, trying to find something else. And then the one like overlapping thing that the 3 previous businesses that I like ran and operated were all, they basically relied on social media for marketing. And, I was doing like custom Kydex gun holsters, knife sheaths, did a couple other things like knife making, like all this other shit. But like the overlapping thing was, it's all marketed on social media. So I got really good at Instagram and just like learned how algorithms work. Got hurt, fucking got struck by lightning, had a viral video on TikTok. And I was like,
I guess we're doing this.
Do that.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
Do you feel guilty having free time? Let me think about, hang on, wait. Like, I've noticed that I have this, I don't know what it's called, but like if I'm gaming, I'm going to stream it because I feel bad about like just goofing off, but I can justify it because like it's streaming. There's like some stuff attached to it. It doesn't make a lot of money, but it's something. Like I've noticed that even in my free time, I'm still like monetizing or something. You know what I'm saying?
I don't feel bad, but there's always like the constant underlying thing of like I'm working the entire time I'm awake pretty much, or
Same.
I'm like actively doing shit with my kids, which I don't want to say that's work, but it's like a conscious thing where I have to like tell myself of like, okay, I'm putting my phone down. I'm not responding to comments or doing shit for work because I'm playing with my kids. Like that's my task right now. But like other than that, like if I play a video game, like I'm listening to a fucking audiobook with a notepad next to me, taking notes on like this, don't forget that, remember this, like in between rounds of COD or whatever. So like, it's like I'm always working, but I'm only always working at like 50%. And then there's like some periods where I work at 110%, but like, so I don't feel bad, but there's just like the understanding of like, I have the best job on the planet.
Yes.
Essentially, I'm super fucking lucky. So I wouldn't say I feel bad, but.
Well, no, it's just I've noticed that like I've started doing that more than ever now because that's the real addiction I have now is that you can do whatever you want with the phone. It can change everything. Like it's literally, the possibilities are endless. And that's the problem I have is like, I need to put it down. Because I don't even use it the way people use phones, like watching videos and stuff. Like I'll just be like, okay, what about this? What about this? And I'm like looking into like businesses or, companies to partner with, like, opportunities, whatever they are, to my own detriment. Like it's because I feel bad not doing something productive is what I've noticed. And if I don't feel productive, I feel bad.
Yeah, pretty much. I get that.
Yeah. I have no people. I have no purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. What?
No.
How similar we are?
I guess.
Unaware of it.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
I could just move in. I like my room.
Your flight got delayed again, so you might not have a choice on that.
That should be the name of the podcast. Flight delayed. That'd be a good one.
Oh, God. What did you say at breakfast this morning? Airport Sweaty?
Airport
We're
Sweaty.
going to drop an album. That's the name. Airport Sweaty is the name of our
worst,
rap album.
The worst type of sweaty, too. Because you can never, once it starts, you can't come back. You never cool off in an airport. So what I do, this is literally what I think. When I'm walking like from my truck to the airport, I'm just like, I'm doing like Wim Hof breathing. Like I'm in ice to like lower my heart rate to like slow down production and body heat. Like I'm literally like, because once you get in there, you can't cool off.
Yeah, my body. Maybe if we were stressed the fuck out, the plane would go faster. No. Doesn't help.
No. And then when you get on there, you're like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. Why are there so many people here? Please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. It just happens the whole time. I'm comfortable. I'm fine. I'll say too, don't open the window before 12.
On a flight?
Don't open the window before 12 unless you're under 10 years old. I'll allow it.
I was going to say, unless you're a child.
And or your kids don't count. Kids don't count. But like, if it's before 12 o'clock, there is nothing you need to see. There is nothing going on. I'm not even, takeoffs, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's all like, I don't know where I was flying recently. I think I was flying back from I was flying back from Buffalo. Way too early in the morning to have all of those windows open. And they have to be like, hey, close the windows, it's getting hot or like whatever. I don't know who's doing that. I got woke up once by a guy who just wanted to look out the window. He woke me up. I was in window because I usually go window, head against the wall, lights out. I'm done, right? And he goes, what's up, man? Hey, can you open the window? And this is a man that's older than me. And I go, what? He's like, can you open the window? It helps me. And I go, did you just wake me up to open the window? He goes, yeah, I'm sorry. And then I open the window. And I go, okay. And then I go back to sleep. And then I wake up again and he didn't look at the window once. He didn't look out the window once. And we got off the flight. I go, did it help me opening up the window for you? Did you feel better? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry. And I go, no, don't tell me you're sorry. You woke me up to open the window. He's like, well, I was just feeling claustrophobic. And I was like, none of that requires waking me up. I wasn't laying on the window part. I was behind. He could have done that.
Wouldn't have even known.
You would have
woke up about, fuck, did I leave the window open like an asshole?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would literally would have spent a whole day hating myself, being like, I can't believe I'm part of the problem now. It was the weirdest thing. People kind of lost their minds on flights. In general, personal space is out the windows. Most people aren't paying attention. I think it's kind of weird how much alcohol you're allowed to drink before you get on a flight.
I think that's the best part.
Yeah, but you do it like a pro. You do it cool. Everyone else does it like Rick and Morty. They're doing too much. It's just I don't know. I love watching people on flights in the morning. Like they all look like this. Seats are numbered, and they're just like 1, 2, 7. Am I 7? I'm 7A. Are you 7A? Yeah, I'm 7A. I'm sorry, I'm 7B.
Did I tell you what happened on my flight back from one of the flights on the show? It was on the second leg of the show. No, it was on my flight back home because nobody was with me. We're on the flight back, and I'm sitting aisle seat just because I have to piss 3 times during a flight.
Yeah.
Because it's always a 4-hour flight. And I hate asking people to get up.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake somebody up because I have to pee.
But you bought the seat.
I always try to sit aisle for that reason. And I'm sitting in an aisle seat and I'm like, I think I was D28 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like D28 and I'm sitting in the seat and some large man, like bigger than me. He had to have been at least 6'4", 300 pounds. He dwarfed me. He was huge. He comes walking up. He's in a Carhartt. And he's like, "Hey man, you're in my seat." And I'm like, I pull him aside. I was like, "I'm D28." And he goes, "Yeah, this is D29." And I go, "Oh shit, bro, my bad." I go, "Apparently I know numbers or apparently I know letters and not numbers."
Yeah.
And he kind of laughed. I go, "Sorry, apparently I'm and I only know numbers and not letters or vice versa."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, no worries." And I go and I sit in my chair and some lady like 2 rows up is like, "You can't use that language." And this dude behind me goes, "What are you, fucking gay?" to this woman. And I fucking died. I was like, I wanted to invite him to range day.
Hey, you want to come on unsubscribe?
Bro, it was the funniest interaction with a random stranger that I'm never going to interact again ever in my entire life.
Oh my God. It's such a weird thing she wasn't involved in it whatsoever.
None.
And she's gonna talk to you 2 bears. She's gonna teach you 2 guys a
2
lesson.
grown men on a plane. I'm going to show them.
What? You know, was she with a guy? I bet she was with a.
She was with a dude that
It was just like, he does this.
Skinny khakis, sneakers. He's wearing a fucking nice V-neck fucking sweater with an Argyle pattern on it and glasses. And he's just like,
I'm going to get beat up over this. I'm going to get beat up over this. Great. I'm glad you showed
the classic
them.
moment of like, "Honey, stop."
Please
I
stop.
have to try to defend you. I really don't want to right now.
I don't want to get squished.
Not that
right
anything
now.
would ever happen, but he doesn't fucking know that.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been in a fight that wasn't caused by a girl. Like younger, not my wife. Well, there was one time we went out and some Marine was like hitting on her. And I was like, "Bro," and he was like, "Whatever." And then my friend Conway came up. We all started fighting these dudes at a bar. Like he came up to her, was like, "What's up, girl?" And she was like, "No, leave me. I'm with my friends." And he kept like coming back, and I came around the corner, and then like my boy Conway, and like we were just fighting these dudes. We ended up like running away from it. It was pretty cool though. Like, no, there hasn't been a fight that I can think of that wasn't caused by that. We have to defend the honor, and you're in a bad position. You have to look at another male and be like, "I'm sorry, bro. I have to do this."
Never a good time. It's always the biggest dude at the fucking bar or the dude that's got 7 friends with him.
His ears are like, he has no ear hole, and you're like, "Great.
Vegetable ear. Just
This is going to go great. Thanks, babe.
shit.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. At least film this so my kids can know how I lived."
I need you to yell "World Star" if I do something cool. Okay, just
Show World Star,
turn
maybe
the camera on.
throw a username in there, something cool. Maybe we'll get a podcast like the Talk to a Girl.
Her career's over already.
It should be over.
Easy come, easy go, I guess.
Hey, also, listen up, America and world. If you invested in the Talk to a Coin or Hawk to a Coin, effective immediately, I have removed your rights to vote on anything for the next 4 years. You don't deserve the money. She deserves it. And I mean that. If you are giving her money for that.
I don't think it was her.
Oh, she's definitely a part of it.
I think she's borderline innocent. Like, I think she was kind of, not to be rude, but she was a useful idiot and a bunch of other crypto bros took advantage of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But no one
Yeah.
should have given that money to them. Obviously, she's going to do a
for
pump
sure.
and dump scheme.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to be like, "Hold it long," like it's not going to work.
Yeah. There's no
diamond hands with
There's
her.
no backing a crypto coin made by an influencer.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Like, I mean, I saw one interview for her. She like worked in a spring factory just outside of Nashville, a town outside Nashville, like making springs or something. Like maybe I think mattress springs, which kind of sounds cool. But and she goes on Broadway, gives an interview, half drunk, and then her life changes, which is wild, to be honest. That's like crazy.
Yeah.
Like as far as like timelines go, like her just being like, "Yeah, spit on that thing," and then like her life just goes.
She like immediately was getting like, it all started because they tracked her down and then she was super viral and then like big, like not influencers, like A-list celebrities were paying her tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to like come out and be at their parties.
Brother,
And like that's how her career launched.
Brother, she was brought on stage at the Zach Bryan concert in Nashville. At the end of every show, he sings the song All Night Revival, and he brings like someone associated to that town or that area. You know, Philadelphia, Shane Gillis. Nashville, Hawk Tuah girl. Like he brings, and like when she goes, Hawk Tuah, the whole place popped. Like 70,000 people, however much that stadium holds, just all screaming. Everyone knew who she was instantly. Yeah. Wild.
It's literally like winning the lottery.
Yeah, but it's over now. She just should have just like maintained, said no to a few things, and she would have been all right. But I don't know. It's a lot of money.
Because the same thing happened to that, God, who was the one girl right before her that was little, skinny, blonde girl, like probably 25 to 30, somewhere in there. She was a mom, had a couple of kids, and she was just like super quirky and awkward and did like interviews. She did it with Drake.
Oh.
And then like she blew up and then suddenly she just
Bobby.
like disappeared.
Bobby something.
Yeah.
Bobby Altoff, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. She might be a plant, but yeah.
That was so Hawk Tuah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But the Bobby girl's definitely a plant because like her whole thing is just pretending to be awkward, which she stole that from a girl who does interviews like that in the UK called Chicken Shop Date. Where
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, this is what I think she got the idea from. There's this girl who interviews people like on a date in a chicken shop because fried chicken is huge in the UK. And so she just asked them like semi-uncomfortable questions and they just cut it up really quick and it's viral, right? And so that's kind of what Bobby does is she like asks these like questions where she's like, yeah, so whatever, Drake, it's not that big of a deal. Like that's the whole thing she does, which is not really much, to be honest. And she's just a cute mom.
It's just weird to see like influencers go, everybody knows them, and then
it's the new one-hit
disappear.
wonder. It's the new one-hit wonder.
Oh, it kind of is.
It's a new one-hit wonder because you're like, but whatever happened to one-hit wonders? Aren't even one-hit wonders anymore. They like live forever. People just release singles now.
Yeah,
not even albums. They just release singles. But the social media thing is the new one-hit wonder.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because most of them don't capitalize. It's a jackpot. They don't know what they're doing. And, you know, it's that people think they want to be rich and famous. Most people just want to be famous.
I've noticed that.
Most people just want to be famous. What I couldn't think of anything like that I want less.
Yeah.
Rich sounds dope. Bill Murray says that. He's the one who said it. He's like, most people want to be rich and famous. Just try being rich, see if that solves your problems.
Bro, I don't even like want to be like rich. Like I don't want like a Lambo or nothing. I'm just thrilled to be at the point in my life where like me and my wife can go to Applebee's and she doesn't need to look at me with the like, can we afford an appetizer look when we're looking at the menu. It's like that was me making it. Like I can afford appetizers at going out to a normal restaurant and like my kid's gonna have money for the book fair if they still have those.
They do.
Yeah, like that's it. I've made it. That's all I cared about.
When I got promoted from E1 to E2, we celebrated by going to Outback, and we ordered a bloomin' onion, and we calculated that, and I think I got her something else.
Pregnant.
Like no, she was already pregnant by that time, but it was some like little gift or whatever. But because it was a weird weekend, the money didn't hit our account until like later, so we ended up like overdrafting our account
Over a bloomin' onion?
over a bloomin' onion, and but it was such
We're the same. We're the same person.
yeah, we're literally the same person. Like now I don't even look at the bill. It's not even like a power thing. I'm just like, it's fine. That's all I ever wanted. I want to be able to order whatever I want, not worry about it. Let's have fun. And my favorite thing in the world to do is to have a meal with people.
Yeah.
It's to have a meal. Just be like, hey, let's just hang out.
Yeah.
I want to eventually get to a place where I do the Will Smith thing. It's kind of too much, but I think it's kind of cool. He orders the menu when he walks into a restaurant. Kind of cool. He's like, I'll try that.
Yeah. Maybe.
Why
We'll
not?
see.
But I like
It's a lot
I like food. That's my thing. I love food.
That's another level because like I thought about it and I just pictured him going into like a fucking Applebee's ordering the menu and I was like, that's too much. That's way too aggressive.
Not that,
like,
but
he's going to these fancy restaurants where it's like there's 3 entrees, 2 desserts, and fucking three different sides. So it's like ordering the menu and all the servings are this big.
That's what I'm
so like ordering the menu there is okay, fine.
That's what I'm talking about. Not like Applebee's.
I'd do it just because I'm fat, not because it's a power move. There's nothing worse than going to like a fancy restaurant and being like, I ordered this steak and it's like me and my wife both got it. And between the 2 of us, they gave us half a steak that's cut up with some fancy drizzle on it.
I had that recently at a hotel and I ended up having to get
this.
I had to get 2 entrees because of
ordering DoorDash to my room after this.
I need a meal.
Yeah.
I need to be over 500 calories. Come on, dude. This is obnoxious. No, I don't want the fucks. Just like the idea of going to a place, getting a good meal, hanging out, doing whatever. Like that's all I've wanted. Because I remember like when I didn't have those things.
Yeah.
And growing up without them, sure. I remember I thought every restaurant only had the same thing for kids because it was all we ever got when we went was chicken tenders. I didn't know there was a whole menu of like other items. I just thought kids get chicken tenders at the restaurant everywhere I went. Just a different form of chicken tenders. Okay, Applebee's, Chili's, doesn't matter. Chicken tenders. That's all I'm getting.
Chicken tenders.
No. Now I want a steak. I want a tomahawk so bad. It's my favorite cut of meat. Ribeye, go-to steak. Ribeye is the steak, but my favorite is a tomahawk.
Now we've come full circle.
I mean,
it's the one thing that this podcast of 2 white dudes was missing was us talking about cuts of meat. Hey, do you have a Traeger?
Yeah.
Fucking perfect. That's all. Go ahead, talk about it. Tell me more.
It's we're one. It's become my personality. It's hooked up to my Wi-Fi, and I love it. I literally love it. I didn't think I would either, because I didn't want to be a guy out there like, because there's levels of smokers. Like there's the green eggs, but they're hard to like keep at temperature and stuff. But a Traeger, you just set it and forget it. Someone told me this, and I can't stop thinking about it. And it's the best way I can think to describe a Traeger. I can't remember who. Maybe it was my wife. Maybe it was Christy. But oh yeah, she said it's like an easy bake oven for dudes. A Traeger. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of right. Like I just show up and it's, like it's everything I want. It's, like it's perfect.
Now I'm the pit master now.
Yeah, I'm the pit master now. I'm like, line up, here we go. And I'm like experimenting with stuff. It's so fun, dude. It's so, it does a mean steak, probably the best steak I've ever had. Cody.
Cody's a good cook. It's
incredibly
kind of
good cook.
Yeah.
Cook. Like, obviously everyone knows from Pepper Box.
Fuck that. That's not like the good steak is like whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things where it's like you're good at cooking steak, cool. But it's like Cody's such a good cook that he made fucking tomato bisque and grilled cheeses, and they were fucking delicious.
Incredible.
On Let Him Cook, his show on Pepper Box. I was in that episode and he made it, and I was like, I was kind of disappointed going into it. I was like, fucking, I wanted Cody to like do a crawfish boil or a steak or some cool shit. And I get to be on the episode where he's making fucking grilled cheeses. And it was actually so fucking good.
It's changed the way I do grilled cheeses now.
Me too.
The cream cheese changed it. Completely changed it. I've done the mayo thing. My friend who's a chef had told me that. But I didn't know the cream cheese on a slice.
Yeah.
Game changer. You know what? The weather's good. I should make some bisque too. I didn't know I liked bisque. I thought it was soupy, but it's not. It's kind of like, not oatmeal.
Creamy.
Creamy?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
It was something.
The best part is when he kept cooking when the cameras turned off, and he's like, should I make some more? And everyone's like, please keep cooking.
Please, keep going.
Please.
I want 3 more and some more bisque.
And Rich was like, whoa, a bisque. You're doing it. He's doing Rich. Yeah, you got a bisque, whatever. And then he's like, Cody's the best meal I've ever had. Like everyone was like, oh, it's so good. Just
I want to get JD DeLay back out, and I want him to go on Let Him Cook, and I want them to do like prison food together.
That would be sick.
Because JD DeLay did like some cooking show, and it was like a challenge, and they like did prison food, and he ended up winning, I think.
You can make a prison burrito. Those are actually kind of good.
We gotta get like the actual one of the prison toilets to cook it in. I mean, obviously it'll be like a brand new one, and then we're gonna clean the fuck out of it. But
Dude,
you have to.
I mean, it was my uncle who showed us how to do that when I was growing up. Like you crunch up like Cheetos and chips and stuff to make like the paste, and you mush it all together. It's basically an MRE, honestly. Like it's the same technology, but it was delicious. Not ideal calorically, but or just in general with the sodium's off the charts, but it was great. Beats the alternative.
Good.
Good.
All right. Well, we got to get you to your flight.
If I make it. If not, we'll keep
if
going.
If it doesn't get delayed again, then we'll come back and film another one.
We'll just, I just slowly just stay here. It's not a bad
Worst things have
idea.
happened.
Except for the frozen rivers. That's kind of a lot.
It's water, dude. It gets cold. The water freezes. This is not a big deal.
It's just I've never seen it. You don't understand. You think it's normal. It's not. That's
normal.
Bone-chilling cold for water to freeze.
It's normal.
Moving water to freeze is crazy.
Not all of it freezes, only the top layer.
Sounds terrible. It scares me. A little bit.
It's not that big of a deal.
I'm just saying it's really cold. I like it here, though. It's always incredible, and this is fun. I love it. We're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it'll be underwhelming the whole time.
Yes, it will be. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.